Hey, it's Miss Alana here, working on math, getting smarter and smarter every day, just like you. In today's video, we will be practicing some more multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. Actually, we're going to be multiplying mixed numbers today for our practice. So before we begin, make sure that you are prepared with your supplies. Make sure you have your notebook with you, have your graphing notebook with you, and something to write with, have your pencil with you. All right. So for today, make sure you write these down. I have some notes here for you that you can write those down in your notebook so you can turn and refer back to that if you ever need it at any other time, and some examples that I want you to work out. And then again, like I said, don't forget, put your answers in the comments below. So if you have not done so yet, go ahead and pause the video, sign in first with your email and your password, so you can comment as your own, or if you're using your parents' account, that's fine too. What would we do? Yeah, so make sure you sign in. If you have not subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button. And when you're done with your answers in the comments below, if this was so easy, go ahead and hit that like button as well. All right, so we are going to work on finding the area of rectangles. All right, now the area, what does that mean? The area is how much space is inside that figure. And we have a rectangle. Now, is this rectangle a two-dimensional or three-dimensional shape? It is a two-dimensional shape. It only has two dimensions. And where are those? It's on the sheet. Right there, length and width. Now, two ways we can find the area. So if you look at this example, we can find the area by counting how many squares how many squares are inside that shape, all right? So we could just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the area of this rectangle is 8, or we can use the formula. You can write that down, length times width. Here's your length. Our length is 1, 2, 3, 4, and our width is 2, and we do 4 times 2, which is 8. So either way, we get the same answer, either by counting how many tiles or little squares are inside that shape, or multiplying the length times the width, okay? Now, the difference is because we're working with mixed numbers, we don't have full squares, so we can't count the squares like that, okay? And I might do an example of that tomorrow where we would count the squares, but not right now, because we're gonna have to actually label those like the half squares, 1/3 squares. Too much. All right, not for today. So for today, I just want you to find the area of these 3 rectangles. And if you notice, these are little flags because bam, the answers are right there for you to check your answers in class tomorrow. All right, let's see, or today, if you're watching this video today. All right, here are some steps. Go ahead and write these down in your journal, in your notebook, so you have these steps. So to multiply mixed numbers, the first thing we need to do is change the mixed numbers into improper fractions. The second step is to multiply the numerators. The third step, multiply the denominators. And the fourth step is to simplify. These are the exact same steps that we followed yesterday and all these other times when we practice multiplying fractions. The only difference now is because we are multiplying mixed numbers, I need to change those mixed numbers into improper fractions first before I can multiply. All right. So I'm going to leave this up. You can go ahead and write these down, draw them in your notebook, go ahead and work those out. And I'm actually going to do a little tutorial once I'm done showing you the questions if you need help. Okay. So here's the first one. This first rectangle has a length of 1 2/3 and 3 1/2. That's the width. For number 2, we have a rectangle with a length of 3 1/3 and a width of, 4 1/3. And for number 3, we have a length of 5 1/4 and the width is 2 1/2. All right, so I'm not going to work all of these out. Like I said, the answers are here to help you out in class, so you can take a look at those. But I'm going to go ahead and work through number 1 with you. I'm going to write it on the board. It says 1 2/3 and then 3 1/2. So we know to find the area, we multiply. So I need to write 1 and 2/3 times 3.5. Okay, just like that. Now, again, like I said, look at the first step. We need to do what? Look at your notes. You should have written it down. Change the mixed numbers into improper fractions. So we have mixed numbers here, and we know they are mixed numbers because I have a whole number and a fraction. Now, two ways you could change it to a mixed number, okay? I have 1 and 2/3. Now, this 1/2 is, we need to make that into a fraction. So what fraction is 1/2 equal to? Well, 1/2 will be equal to 2/2, 3/3, 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, 7/7, whatever fraction that has the same numerator and denominator, they're always equal to 1. But because I have 2/3 here, the best fraction to use would be what? 3/3. So this 1/2 is the same thing as 3/3. Okay? And then I have that 2/3 right there. Okay? Do you see that? This 1/2 is the same thing as 3/3. I'm using thirds because of that 2/3. There's a 2/3. So now I can combine them. 3/3 and 2/3 is 5/3. Just like that. Okay? Now for 3.5, I have 3 wholes. And what fractions would I use for that 3, for that mixed number? Well, I wouldn't use the same thirds here because these are not thirds. It's halves. So I'm going to use 2 halves. And just like that. Okay? So 2 halves is equal to what? How many wholes? That's just 1 whole. How many wholes do I have? I have 3. So I need to write that, 3 times, right? Because I know 2 wholes, no, not 2 wholes, 2 halves, that's 1 whole. 2 halves, 1 whole, 2 halves, 1 whole. 1 whole, 1 whole, 1 whole. There's the 3 wholes right there. Plus that 1/2. How much is that? 2, 4, 6, 7 halves. Okay, right there. And you know what? I'm going to do this. So I'm going to put the parentheses because we know we need to combine this because that's the 1 and 2/3, 5/3 times that, which is 7 halves now. Next step, multiply the denominators across, multiply the numerators across, multiply the denominators across. So 5 times 7 is what? That's 35. And then 3 times 2 that's 6. So I have 35 over 6. And the last step is to simplify. So to simplify this fraction, well, what kind of fraction is that? It is an improper fraction. How do you know? Because that numerator 35 is bigger than the denominator, which is a 6. So to make that into a mixed number, we need to divide. I'm going to put it right over here, okay? So I'm going to do 35 divided by, 6. Can 6 go into 3? No. Put the 0 right there. 0 times 6. Now, some of you all do this, and then some of you all don't need to necessarily subtract that 0. So we have 35. 6 goes into 35 how many times? That's 5 times. And then 5 times 6 is 30. And then we subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5. 3 minus 3 is 0. So what is our answer? The number up top right there is our whole number, 5. And then whatever's left over, that remainder 5. And then we keep that denominator the same. 5 and 5, 6 is the answer for that first one. And bam, look, there's my work right there also. For number 1. All right, is it like sideways? Okay. So I'm not going to do number 2 and number 3 for you. You should be able to do that on your own. Refer back to this first problem that I worked out with you. If you need to watch the video again to help you, go ahead and watch that. Like I said, don't forget, write everything down. Show all this work in your notebook and go ahead and put your answers in the comments below. There are 3 rectangles. So I want 3 answers. It would be great if you can show your work. Try your best to show your work. I know it's kind of weird with the fractions, but go ahead and do that in the bottom. I will be checking that and your notebooks, and make sure you do your study island if you haven't. All that makeup work, if you owe me that, get that done. You have Moby Max to get done. You have your study ladder to get done, and your milestones packet to get done as well. If you have not done any of those in class, get it done. All right, so finish all your work. Keep practicing every day. Love you. Mwah.